Guys, let me tell you, you know how you see a flyer and you're like, no way. Yes, it is exactly what is advertised. It is terrifyingly amazing. As you can see, those animals were all up in our windows. You know, I just felt like the people there could have prepped us a little bit better because it was very terrifying. I feel like we came up on these buffalo and their horns. It was the horns. Welcome to Storytime with Sirece.
Preview.
And now, let's all welcome your host, Sirece Thomas. Hey guys, come on in, take a seat. It is the weekend. Oh my goodness, and it's the first weekend in September. So welcome September. You know, I particularly have a love for September. Because yes, it's my birthday month. So shout out to all the September babies. Shout out to all my fall lovers. Fall is my second favorite season of the year. And shout out to this cool weather coming in. I mean, come on. What can you not like about the smell of sweet potato pie, pumpkin spice, and hot chocolate? And roasting some marshmallows over the fire pit. You know what I'm saying? Like, fall is everything. So, okay, welcome September, okay? Shout out to all my fall lovers, my September babies, my Libras in the house. We out here, we outside, okay? But I'm super excited. Actually, this Saturday, I'm going to be talking to you about how I spent my last weekend for Labor Day. There were so many amazing things that I literally had to vlog my entire experience and turn this into a story time with Sirece. So you're really not gonna see much of me. You're just gonna see much of me doing what I did last weekend. And I really want you guys to get into this because, I mean, we had the best time ever. A lot of it was unplanned, and sometimes it's those little unplanned trips that turn into some super exciting adventures. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as I take you on a journey of our Labor Day weekend trip and all the things we did, family fun, adult friendly at the same time, and super adventurous. I love adventures. And I just want you guys, if you're in the Ohio area or the Midwest area, take advantage of these things right here. Some of you guys are like, oh, you're super late, but you know what? Just join in and get excited for me because I just learned about all of this, all right? So anyways, enjoy. Okay, guys, so sit back, relax, and enjoy this weekend ride with me. So for many of you, you know, there was no school on the Friday before Labor Day. So we're talking a 4-day weekend here. So I'm like, okay, no, we got a toddler. We're going to have to get her out the house. So of course we wanted to do something small, and we decided to take a last minute little cute family road trip. Since we had some hotel points, you know, my husband is huge on using points to take a trip. We actually just booked an entire cruise off of points. So we're going to talk about that in another story time. But we were able to use some points to book a hotel just for 2 nights to get out of the house. So we headed about maybe 3 hours. We took a break in the middle and kept going. It was a smooth and easy drive. And the reason why we headed to Port Clinton, Ohio, was because we stumbled a couple of months ago on this thing called African Safari. And we wanted to check it out because it's a drive-through zoo. Like, what? How cool is that? I have never heard of a zoo that you can drive through and the animals come right up to your car. Honestly, I didn't really believe it. So I was just like, let's just go check it out. Something's got to be cool about this. So we decided to take that drive, and it was out to Port Clinton. And that was really our only goal, was to get to the African Safari, have some fun there, and get back. But the closer we got and the more research I did, I started to realize there was a lot more to do. And since we weren't doing the safari on Saturday, we had a lot of time to kill on Friday. So we realized that Port Clinton was just minutes from Cedar Point Amusement Park. So, I mean, I didn't know. Now, I am also not a roller coaster person, so I wouldn't know this. So day one, we got there, we got to the hotel. My daughter is a huge hotel fan, so she was already excited. She was ready to just go to the beach. I kept telling her we will find a beach because I knew we were going to be near the water. So we wind up going to Cedar Point Beach and Boardwalk. Of course, not the actual amusement park. Like I said, I do not do roller coasters, but it was so cool because the beach was right next to the park, so we got to watch the roller coasters in action while being at the beach. I'm like, that's close enough for me. I feel like I'm on the ride. What more do I need to do? But this was so cool because my daughter was in awe. My husband was like scratching because he's a roller coaster fiend. I'm always like, go get on, I'll watch you. He doesn't believe on getting on roller coasters by himself. I don't know what that's about, but we had a great time. And of course, Persia, she was ready. She was holding on to her beach toys, had her little bathing suit on, and finally she got to go to the beach because we don't often get to take her there because we don't necessarily live close to beaches where we're from. So it was so excited. And let me tell you, the beach was beautiful. It was so cool. The water was perfect. Of course, we're talking Lake Erie here. So it wasn't like an actual beach. So the waves were very subtle. And let me tell you, you could walk like maybe 20 feet out and the water literally remained about 2 to 3 feet deep all the way out. And I love that. And my daughter, who has now gotten so confident with the water, she was ecstatic because she could go all the way out in the water and still it was only 2 to 3 feet deep with her little floaties on. So she was just like a little fish out there. And we were just in love with our time at the beach. It was awesome. The boardwalk was awesome. It had so many little cute spots on the beach to eat and drink, little fire pits and places where you can rent cabanas. I was like, this is so cute. And just access to a plethora of restaurants, of course, because we were like in the middle of the amusement park. So there were restaurants everywhere. And unbeknownst to us, we realized that we could still get access to a lot of those restaurants, even though they were in the amusement park. So that made dinner nice, easy, and convenient for us. We got to eat right there on the beach and just enjoy a meal without having to leave. Our first day was awesome. Just simply going to Cedar Point Beach. So day two, we were super excited, headed downstairs, enjoyed our hotel breakfast. And of course, we had to stop by the pool for Miss Persia. Anytime she sees water, just like when I was young, she's like, we've got to do this. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. So she got to show off more of her swimming skills and we had some pool fun in the morning. Then we dried up and we headed out to this mysterious African safari. Guys, let me tell you, you know how you see a flyer and you're like, no way. Yes, it is exactly what is advertised. It is terrifyingly amazing. As you can see, those animals were all up in our windows. I just felt like the people there could have prepped us a little bit better because it was very terrifying. I feel like we came up on these buffalo and their horns. It was the horns. And, Daniel wasn't having it because those horns were hitting the car and, they were putting their head all the way in the window. One of them licked Persia's arm and she lost it. So we had a bit of a rough start. I'm not going to lie. We closed all of our windows and said, okay, let's take a breather. Let's find the more gentle animals to approach our windows before we move forward. And as we got comfortable, then it became amazing. Like I said, I kind of wish they prepped us for this. Like I said, they were all up in our windows. We calmed down and we truly enjoyed this upfront experience. I mean, we put on the Lion King soundtrack and we just really got to engage with the cast. All right, we got right to there. And so the drive-through experience was definitely a one-in-a-lifetime experience. I would definitely encourage you, if you're in the Ohio or Midwest area, take a road trip, get out to the African Safari Park. It is just different because after we finished our drive-through, we got to feed some deer and we got to feed the giraffes. I mean, the giraffes were right there. They were behind the gate, but they bent their heads all the way down into our windows. I mean, again, it was just like being so up close and personal with Mother Nature. And once you finish the drive-through, you can actually park, okay? And we got to walk through the zoo and we got to see kangaroos and turtles and monkeys. But the most beautiful part about this was I was gonna do it, but I couldn't because I'm with child. So Persha and Daniel rode a camel for the first time in their lives, both of them. Daniel was not happy about it, but Persha, we wanted to be brave for her, so he got on and she got on and she rode a camel. And also probably one of the highlights of the trip was the canary sanctuary. Now, I am also not a big fan of birds flapping around me or landing on me, but these canaries were so tiny and so precious, and we got to go in there, and both myself, my husband, and my daughter got to feed the birds. And it was just such a precious experience, especially to watch Persha engaging with the animals like that. So please check out African Safari. We probably took about 2 hours to do everything, and maybe about 45 minutes through the drive-through, and then a little bit longer through the park because we stopped for ice cream. There was a little playground in there. They do shows and things like that. So they have a lot to offer. So make sure you go check it out. It's family fun. It's family friendly. And of course, the adults, we were so intrigued. I mean, me and Daniel were screaming. Okay. So we got back early in the day, early afternoon. So we had so much time to spare. And this is where we got a little adventurous. Okay. We went to Cedar Point Beach, which we didn't plan. We did go to our planned itinerary, which was African Safari. When we got back, I was like, what should we do? I Googled anything that was near, and I saw something called Kelly's Island. And I've heard people talk about this before, Put-in-Bay, Kelly's Island. And it sounded like you could just take a ferry, and I thought that was so cool. So I said, let's just go over to the ferry and just see. So everything was completely like, let's explore. We had no info on this. So we decided to go check it out. And let me tell you, OMG. This became yet another highlight of the entire trip. And we did not plan to go here, like I said, and we did not expect it. It was so fun, so easy to park. Got on the ferry, $24 round trip per person. Persha was free. You could also have taken your car on the ferry, which reminds me of when I lived in New York. We used to do that in Connecticut. But as we approached Kelly's Island, I quickly realized this was an island of inhabitants. Of course, you can rent an Airbnb there, but people actually live on Kelly's Island. I mean, like, what? Like, there's schools and churches, and people are literally living on. I'm like, I don't know if I could do it. But it was so intriguing, and it was absolutely beautiful. And guess what? Once we arrived, we quickly found out how big the island was, because we said, okay, we'll have dinner there, and we could have walked there, and thank God we had Persha's stroller. But we quickly realized that we were able to rent a golf cart. That's right. I was hyped. For just $16 an hour, I was like, give me my golf cart, okay? And so that wound up being so amazing because we got to take a private tour ourselves of any part of the island. Anywhere you wanted to go, we could just drive around. So we got to drive through the neighborhoods, look at the houses. We drove up on a beautiful beach. We drove through the downtown area of the island. I was just in awe. I love things like this, and just adventures, things that I was not anticipating on seeing. And it was just wonderful. You saw the churches, the schools, they've got summer camps. And like I said, the beautiful beaches, the downtown area. And the downtown area is where we found a great little spot. I mean, they had all these eateries and bars and grills. Outside, we got to sit, and there was sand in the section that we were sitting in. So that was so perfect for both me and Daniel and Persha, because she got to play in the sand while we got to sit back and eat. And Daniel enjoyed a wonderful little drink. It was like some grilled pineapple shot, and he said it was so good. So I know I have to come back to go ahead and give the drinks a taste. But just the vibe was everything. There was live music, and I mean, wow. This was such an unplanned, incredible experience. And it's nothing like that. So we will definitely be returning here, especially with my mom. I know my mom's going to love this place. And of course, some friends. Maybe we can rent an Airbnb out there and just hang out, come back on the ferry and bask in the wonderful time, and make sure maybe we even bring our car. So it was just a great time. So we got back on the ferry, enjoyed the sunset as we were actually heading back as the sun was setting. So it was absolutely beautiful. Got to our car, and of course, we concluded the day with a car wash, because Persha loves a good car wash, okay? We drove through it and had a car wash party. That Kelly's Island thing was the most convenient and inexpensive, entertaining little addendum to our family road trip. So that was so exciting. We got back on Sunday and, you know, we were just kind of on a high from all of the adventures and things that we've never done. So, of course, we've been hearing about these WEBN fireworks. Now that we drove back, you know, 3 hours back home. That was such, you know, it always feels so much quicker driving back. We're like, man, we're home already. It's 1 p.m. You know, people said that you should show up at 12 p.m. to reserve your spot for the fireworks, and it's already 2 o'clock, and we got to, you know, wind down. So we really were like, should we do this? And we said, you know what? Let's do it. We decided to brave one of the biggest, most popular Labor Day fireworks display in the country. And we got there at 4:30 p.m. So we did not get there at 12 p.m. because the fireworks are not until 9. We were not interested in hanging out down there from 12 to 9, just not after that little road trip, you know? But we said, let's just go explore. If it's crazy, we'll turn around. We had other options as well. But let me tell you, with a place that's supposed to harbor in about right of 250,000 of people who flock to the edges of Kentucky and Cincinnati to view these fireworks, we packed our chairs, we got our blankies, and we did it. And let me tell you, showing up at 4:30 p.m. was perfect. We got a great spot, and there were so many spots available. We got a great parking lot on Spot Hero, which was just about 6 minutes away. And once again, we had Persia in her stroller and we put the chairs in a little wagon, and that was how we did that. And it was awesome. And it was so cool. Every hour they let off fireworks just to hype us up. And I loved that. There were food trucks, there were free bouncy houses, and we got to get $3 fresh cold lemonade refills. And we were just having a blast. I mean, Persia loved it. The kitty stuff was awesome and kept her entertained and occupied. And let me tell you, she showed her stuff on a little competition obstacle course. It was so cute. And let me tell you, I was quite impressed at my baby making her way through that competition. Okay. And then we were able to wind down with some food, got her some pizza, nothing like a folding chair, a folding feeding chair for the outside. So my baby girl got to enjoy the shade while enjoying a slice up for the evening. Then came the beach ball insanity. I was not ready for this. Over 100 beach balls came flying over the top while we were sitting. And let me tell you, the kids loved it, but we got into it too. And it was just a great way to help us kill some time. And finally, when the sun went down, it was a bit easier because it wasn't as hot. But you know, we had our chairs with the covering, so we really never suffered. And we got cozy with our little glow sticks, and the night kicked off with a drone show right over the stadium. And then once that was done, we got straight into these fireworks. And let me tell you, these were honestly fireworks like never before. It was a fireworks display and experience that I've never ever been to. From the lights to the colors and mostly the fireworks shooting off of the bridges. I was just in awe, and you can hear me screaming. You can hear me screaming in the background because I just couldn't contain it. And those fireworks lasted for 30 minutes. Felt like it was forever. Just absolutely beautiful with surprises like shooting the water off the waterfall, fire from the bridge, and the grand finale, it sounded like 100 of bombs were just going off at the same time. I had to clutch my pearls, okay? Because during that part, it was excitingly overwhelming. But let me tell you, I am so glad we decided to brave it out. I will definitely be, again, dragging more people to go out with us next year. It's a must-see. And, you know, once we were done with that, we had our time on Friday from Cedar Point Beach to Saturday, African Safari and Kelly's Island, Sunday, WEB and fireworks, and Monday, Labor Day. Of course, it was time to wind it down. We went to go visit Mimi. And of course, she made her fried chicken, macaroni salad. And of course, she always lets us know that we are ready for the fall. Her house is always so beautifully decorated, and I love her little tchotchkes. And she also had a few fall surprises like making homemade caramel apples. What? I don't know where my mom comes up with this, but it was so cute and they were so yummy. And obviously, as you can see, they were more yummy to make. So let me tell you, there was no better way to kick back after this 4-day weekend. I mean, it was just so much fun, so much family bonding. And I just encourage you guys, if you've never visited Cedar Point Beach or Port Clinton, Ohio, Kelly's Island, the African Safari, or the WEBN fireworks around this time of year, listen, choose all or choose one. You will not be disappointed. So I just had to share that with you guys. It was incredible. Oh my goodness, I will share the links below for any of you that are curious to learning more about it. All I would say is always just pack your chairs, pack your stuff, anything like water, all that kind of stuff, and you will be good to go wherever you go on these. So this was so awesome, guys. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed my vlog experience of last weekend. And yeah, stay tuned. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Wasn't that the best? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I have so much more. I'm going to continue vlogging on my experience with weight loss and pregnancy and the whole 9. But you know, I had to pause sometimes just to share my story with you. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys get to check it out. If you haven't already, take some time for yourself. That's what I want you to remember. Remember to make time. Sometimes you can't take time. You have to make time for yourself and for the things that you know you ought to be doing, all right? So you guys have a wonderful rest of the weekend, and I'll see you again next Saturday with another story time with Sirece. Bye, guys.